All right, what's good, y'all? Welcome to today's trade recap. I took one trade. It was a break even, and then I forward tested one trade, and that was a dub. So we'll go over the forward test, we'll go over the break even, and we'll go over my thought process this entire morning. So starting off with the Discord, okay, what did we have? What did I send out at 8:58? Well, I said leaning bullish coming into this morning. We have an unfilled hourly above us. With equal session highs from yesterday that were left unswept as our take profit target. I would be looking for manipulation into the hourly gap at open and then longs towards these equal session highs, right? So we had this unfilled hourly and this unfilled 50-minute blows. What I wanted to see is us come down into it and then continue towards these red and blue lines, which were the equal highs from yesterday's sessions. And also in that exact same area, it was a daily fair value gap and previous day highs. So great fucking draw on liquidity. And I really wanted to long towards that. That's what my goal was today. So as you guys can, this is top stuff. As you guys can see at market open, we got our manipulation lower into this fair value gap, and then we ended up inversing this 2-minute gap. So typically exactly what we want to see, but this fucking candle closure was ridiculous. Okay, so if you would have entered off the inversion alone, your stop loss would have been 75 points. And your take profit would have been 89.25, which is a 1-to-2 or a 1.12 trade, which is typically what we look for, right? But we look for smaller points in the market when we have this, okay? We don't want a 75-point stop loss. That is just an absurd amount. Most of my stop losses range from anywhere from 15 points to like 30 points on average. Typically don't ever go over like 27 or 28 though. So this was way too premium for me. What I did do is I set a limit order at the inversion, and I was just going to de-risk. I was going to go in with micros on this trade. This would have made the trade idea a lot better, 2.24. However, I don't end up getting tapped in, right? But what we did do is we came up and we created this 5-minute fair value gap right here, okay? And when we created this 5-minute fair value gap, I was looking for one of two things. I was like, okay, if we truly are bullish, we can tap into this and continue higher. But I was a little hesitant because ES came and swept out those highs that were left unfilled from yesterday, or unswept from yesterday. So this is what it looked like on ES. Let me just show you guys. So ES had an SMT with those highs from yesterday, and this was the trade I forward tested. Now, I was extremely bullish on the day, so I was looking for a continuation model. And I wouldn't say I fucked myself at all because I was very patient, and that's what you should do as a good trader. You should be very patient, but I definitely missed a setup because this is exactly what we talk about in the gap model, okay? What did we have? We had high time frame narrative with our sessions from yesterday, SMTs. Okay, so what are these? 4-hour 4-hour SMTs. It was also a previous day high, so we had a previous day high SMT. And I believe ES came into a previous day fair value gap as well, or a daily fair value gap, you should say. So we had high time frame SMTs, okay? And then what did we also get on the 1 minute? Let me show you right now. So we ended up getting, give me 1 second. I believe we ended up getting an internal SMT as well. And I've talked about internal SMTs. When you pair them with high time frame SMTs, it tends to fucking work out every single time. So we kind of chopped around for a little bit. Where is our SMT? I could have sworn we had a fucking SMT. No? Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't know why I'm blind for a second. Yeah. So here's our SMT right here. Sorry, everyone that's watching. You probably think I'm a fucking idiot. So we had this internal SMT, right? Along with the high time frame SMTs. And then we had a clear target below us, which was the unfilled 5-minute fair value gap. So how could we have entered? Well, there was a 1-minute fair value gap right here that got inversed with this candle. So entered off that candle, stops at the SMT highs, take profit to the unfilled fair value gap. And this is what your trade idea would have looked like. And boom, you would have been in the trade for like 4 minutes and ripped that entry model. So that was a trade I forward tested. I should have took it, but I didn't. I was more so looking for a continuation model. I didn't really want to short in this bullish market, but it ended up ripping anyway. And I was pretty confident that we were going to go to this anyway, but we also had news at 10 o'clock. And then here's 9:59. What happens at 10 o'clock? Well, that happened. Okay. I pulled down my pants and I slapped my shit on the fucking screen. That's exactly what happened. And well, what did this do? It ended up taking out these draws, so these are no longer relevant. And if we go to the 4 hour, like holy Drake, huh? We continued higher and higher and higher. What did we come into? We came into, this line doesn't mean anything. We came into this 4 hour gap right here, right? We entered this 4 hour fair value gap. We also entered this 1 hour unfilled fair value gap as well. And then there was also a 15-minute fair value gap that was unfilled as well, which was right here. Okay. So this is the trade I did take. We had high time frame narrative because we tapped into the hourly and the 15-minute. And then on top of that, ES is all the way the fuck up here and already took out all this low resistance liquidity. And on top of that, we're already severely overbought and haven't retraced in about like 300 points. So you guys see right here, it was about 360 points that we didn't retrace. So we came up, and as soon as we tapped the hourly and the 15-minute fair value gap, we had a 2-minute inversion, which was, here's our fair value gap right here. And then the very next candle ended up inversing it. And that's what we look for in the gap model is we look for an instant reaction out of the fair value gap, right? And I was explaining to the Discord where if we hit this and then just started chopping around, well, then we would want to wait for a resweep. And then in that resweep leg, then look for an inversion going down. However, we didn't need a resweep because price reacted instantly. I got an instant reaction. I entered not on these accounts. So on TradingView, I have my Take Profit Trader 5 accounts. I have my Traderify 5 accounts, and I have my MyFunded Futures 3 accounts. So there's 13 total accounts on here. I didn't enter on there. However, I entered on TradingView or fucking Top Step. Okay. And my break even point was this first 5-minute gap. I went quick break even. I wasn't really messing around with this trade. Like I said, I didn't want to be shorting in this market, but the opportunity did present itself. I'm just going to delete this. So I ended up going break even at the first unfilled 5-minute, which here we can come over here and look at. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Here is our break even point. Okay. Let's go to the 1 minute. Hold on. Actually, let's do this. Okay, boom. Now let's go to the 1 minute. All right. So I'm in the trade, candle closure. I enter off this candle right here, stops at the highs. And again, my stop loss was 62 points on this trade. Each of these candles were just ridiculously big for no fucking reason. Like this one candle was 39 points. That's crazy. So my stop loss was 62 points. I de-risked. I went in for 5 micros. I haven't traded micros in who knows how long. I typically trade 1 to 2 minis. I went in for 5 micros. And yeah, stops were at the highs. It was at 1.08 trade. So over a 1-to-1. On here it was a little better because I didn't get my exact entry point. It was just relative what it was. But anyways, we come down. We take out my break-even point. Stops right now at break-even. We are risk-free. We're coming down. We're coming down. Okay, boom. We're only 9 points away. I'm like, bang. This trade's about to hit. Bangarang. No, what ends up happening? The trade ends up reversing and stopping me out at break even. So I was done for the day. I didn't even want to trade after I slapped my shit on the screen right here. I didn't want to trade after that. But I did find a setup. Why? Because we had high time frame narrative with mad SMTs with the LRO. We had a 1 hour fair value gap. We had a 15-minute fair value gap that were both unfilled. Instant reaction out of them. 2-minute inversion. Clear targets below us. But it just didn't end up working out, okay? And that's why I went break-even at this first 5-minute. It was not the best break-even point. But I didn't want to be shorting in this long market anyway. However, the opportunity, again, did present itself. So it was about a half RR with my break-even point, which, it's not the best, but it is what it is. And actually, the break-even point didn't end up fucking me anyway because I would have went break-even somewhere down here anyway. But yeah, ended up getting break-even on the trade, and that was it. I called it quits, and price didn't end up doing much for the rest of the day. Still hasn't done shit, right? We're just chopping around. So W day, didn't lose. Break even day, took this trade in the Discord. Also called out the other 2 trades. Fuck, I just unplugged the mic from where it's supposed to be holding in from. But yeah, trades were called out in the Discord. I've been trading in the Discord for the past like 2 weeks or so. Free Discord link is in the bio. Social media in the bio, or in the fucking description. I don't know why I keep saying bio. Sub if you want. I'd appreciate it. But yeah, you guys have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys back on Sunday with a weekly recap. And then we will get into the news in the upcoming week. So you guys have a great weekend. I will catch y'all boys on Sunday, actually.